In the heart of Maine, where the rugged coastline meets endless forest, there's a company that lives and breathes the Overland spirit. Whether you're behind the wheel of a built-out Jeep, a classic Land Cruiser, or your first ever adventure-ready Subaru, 207 Overland welcomes you. No matter your rig, no matter your experience, this is a community built for all walks of life. Please take a minute to listen to some of our fellow Overland friends and the stories behind their rigs that have inspired them to travel far and wide.
Hey everybody, I am Jeff Green. I am one of the trail leaders for 207 Overland. This is my first year leading trips, and I drive Maximus, which is a 2021 Gladiator with the RMT Overland build on it from Fox.
Okay, next question is, what inspired you to build your rig for Overland? Or buy it?
So actually, yes, I bought this one turnkey ready because I have had several Jeeps. I think this is my fifth. And I've done build outs on other ones. This one I bought 2 years ago, and honestly I just wanted it turnkey ready to hop in and hit the trails. So most everything you see on this, except the new iCamper that I put on, came on the Jeep.
What was the adventure or experience that pushed you to start overlanding?
Oh, the experience. So I used to work with a good friend, Chris Woodcock, who owns Northeast Adventure Company. We worked together at Baddard Police Department, and once I started hearing about the trips Chris was doing, that got me very interested, and I decided to jump into some overland trips. Bought an AEV Wrangler back then and just fell in love with it, and have been doing it ever since 2017, I think.
And what does overlanding mean to you today?
Ooh, that's a good question. So, to me, overlanding is basically self-sustaining adventure. It's basically the journey is better or more important than the destination. Like wherever we go are usually beautiful places once we get there, but overlanding is being self-sustained, living out of your vehicle, being able to go to remote places, and it can be stuff here in Maine, it can be traveling to other countries, basically anywhere you want to go, but usually going to remote places and being able to be self-sustained out of your vehicle.
Alright, my name is Michael Baddard, and this is my 2010 5-speed Toyota Corolla, only front-wheel drive.
Alright, what inspired you to build your rig for overlanding?
Most of the rigs you see are very expensive, lots of heavy equipment, and they're just big, huge rigs. And most of the places I go and where I go camping is abandoned buildings, like on Class 6 roads and primitive campsites. And we just go from point to point camping and disc golfing. And most of the roads I've seen people go on, it's nothing that hardcore. And a car can do it with the proper mods to it. So I started doing that.
Excellent. What was the adventure experience that pushed you to start overlanding?
COVID. I was on a motorcycle, and you couldn't camp at any of the places without, being there for 3 days. You had to have a booster shot. You had to have all that stuff. And I just traveled from point A to point B on my motorcycle. And then I started doing it in cars as well, and we had to find alternative campsites because none of them were open. So we just started camping at primitive campsites.
Nice. And so what does overlanding mean to you today?
Getting out where people normally don't go and being able to survive or camp completely off the grid without having electricity, or at least having electricity self-contained. Same thing with being able to cook, refrigeration, whatever else you might need, and be able to have 3 to 5 days without being going to stores to buy stuff or whatnot, and just getting out in the middle of nowhere.
I'm Nick. This is my 2023 4Runner TRD Off-Road Premium. Thing's a monster. I love it. I've had it for a couple years now. Bought it brand new, had 2 miles on it, already got 37,000, and just keep spending more money on parts.
What inspired you to build your vehicle for overlanding?
So me and my buddies used to always go out backpacking and hiking and camping that way, and it just made a little more sense to have something like why not be able to fit a little more gear and not struggle just what you can carry? Did that for a while, and then I needed a new truck, and I always liked the 4Runners, seen them built out a whole bunch, and was like, this is the one that I'm going to go with. So we all got into it, all started building our trucks for whatever we could want, really.
Very nice. What was the adventure experience that pushed you to start overlanding?
I'd have to say I saw a couple of videos, and my other buddy Nick found 207, and he signed us both up to go do the snow tam. And I took this more or less bone stock. I had some 33s on it at the time, but it was more or less bone stock, and we went up there and we ripped around with them for a while, and it was a blast. And I was like, I need to do more to this, get a little more fine-tuned for different situations, and just the rest is history. That was, I think, the winter of 23. I think it was January of 23. So it was like a month or so after I got the truck. I was out there doing it and was like, I'm going to keep going and build this thing more.
Nice. And what does overlanding mean to you today?
Today, it's just getting out, getting away from the city. I mean, I grew up outside of Boston, moved to New Hampshire a few years back, and now any chance I get to just disappear into the woods or into the mountains, I'll take. And the fact that I can do it with all my buddies in their trucks, or I can load it up with my fiance and just go myself.
Excellent.
So my name is Nick, and this is my 2019 Ram 2500 with the 6.7 liter Cummins. Yeah.
All right. What inspired you to build your rig for overlanding?
I have been into the outdoors for a long time. I had a old 1994 Chevy S10 that I used to take off-road and go camping and stuff with, and then I upgraded to a Jeep at one point. And I started doing a lot of trails with that, and I really liked it. Had some issues with it and decided to kind of upgrade, and basically just wanted to do more. I've been into Jeeps for a really long time, and so the 2500 Dodge has basically got the same suspension setup as like a modern Jeep. So it's got the same coils in the rear like the 5-link, and so really just wanted to build it out so I can get out and you know, off-road and camp and hike and do all of my outdoor adventures with a rig that's dedicated towards it.
Very nice. What was the adventure experience that pushed you into overlanding?
I had I guess I had a trip one time where I was out setting up a rifle for hunting, and the place that I was shooting it at to zero it in was kind of like really out in the sticks. So it was like this Class 6 road that turned into this small off-road path that had kind of gotten beat up over the years. And so I had taken my Jeep out there to sight out the gun, and just to kind of hang out for a little bit and kind of hike around. There's this kind of like big hike that you can go up towards this mountain, and ended up finding this trail like as I was walking along, and I took my Jeep out at the time, and I just couldn't make it up the trail just because the tires weren't like good enough for it. And so it really started there, like just upgrading the tires, and at that point I realized that the wheels that were on it were not a good size, so you got to upgrade the tires and the wheels and then the suspension, and kind of one thing leads to another, and before you know it, you're just upgrading a lot of components, and then you start doing more, and the more that you do, the more you get hooked on it. So
very nice. And what does overlanding mean to you today?
Yeah, so for me, it's really just a way that I can, I really like to spend time outside in nature, and I really love trucks, right? So taking long road trips, being able to do, you know, parts where you're on road and you're cruising around, and then you're finding places to go off-road and be in nature, and like really, especially in New England, like deep into the backcountry is where you can kind of get, which is nice. And being able to check out other states and other places, and spend time outside, right? So you get to camp outside, you get to cook outside, you get to be with friends, you get to be with family, and you get to do all of those trips from your own vehicle, that you get to build out exactly how you want it. And so it kind of allows me to have that passion of like trucks and working on trucks and building stuff with trucks and like kind of using that creativity, and then also being able to just kind of enjoy my hobbies of the outdoors, like hiking and stuff like that.
Excellent.
What sets 207 Overland apart isn't just the gear or the grit. It's purpose, a passion for the tread lightly principles, leaving the trails better than we found them, a commitment to family, whether by blood or bond, and above all, a belief that the journey is always more important than the destination. This isn't just about where you go, it's how you get there, and who you bring along for the
How
ride.
hard it is to get to. This is the shit that like actually just
So if you found this video, you are like many others who have a passion for overlanding, the community, and a sense of adventure. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or somebody who's just getting into this hobby, 207 Overland is Maine's premier overland community, built on passion, powered by people, and driven by the journey. You can find more about 207 Overland on our website, on Facebook, or here on YouTube. If you have any questions, please reach out. We'd love to answer them. And we hope to see you on the trail soon.